Hey everyone, my name is Ethan and welcome to a brand new video. Today guys, we'll be looking at two stories in the latest news section. We have the Jimmy Kimmel interview with former President George W. Bush in regards to whether or not he did look at the alien files during his presidency. And then in the second half of today's video, something a little bit different. And if you're interested, definitely stick around for it. It is some human-shaped like shadows in the sky over Kitwe in north central Zambia. It's very, very interesting, very cool photos, and I will have those for you towards the end of today's video. Alrighty guys, so just a quick note here before I get started on this. Because my channel is new and it is not protected by any networks or anything like that, I've decided not to display the footage of the interview on my channel as for fear that they could possibly just claim it and then have my video never appear. So I'm going to link it down in the description to a news article that has the highlight, which you guys can go and check out now. So pause this video, open it in a new tab, watch it, read the information, and then come back and join in the discussion that I'm going to have after you have watched that. When you were in office, and I don't know when this happened or if it happened, did you go through the secret files, the UFO files? Asks Jimmy Kimmel of former President George Bush. With half a smile on his face, Bush said maybe. As Jimmy continued, because if I was president, that would be the first thing I did. Now, President Bush admitted that it's funny, his daughters asked the very same question, which is interesting, and then went on to say that he would not be able to tell his daughters, let alone Jimmy, the answer to that question. Now that he is out of office, would it be possible for him to tell us? Again, true, right, but I'm not telling you nothing. So we have former President George Bush playing along, making a little bit of a joke with Jimmy here about whether or not he looked at the UFO files and whether or not there was something there to look at. And I think that the very telling part of this is after a little bit more of a back and forth, Kimmel went on to ask the president if he knew any really great secrets, where Bush, without hesitation, as if programmed, said yes. There are great secrets in the presidency, and he would not divulge the information even now that he is out of office, nor would he ever write about them or divulge them on his deathbed, even if he started drinking again. Which is very, very interesting, and it raises several questions to me as a believer in the UFO phenomena. And that is, first of all, why so secret? Why not just say no? Former presidents have said there was nothing there. Former presidents have run their campaign based on truth to reveal the UFO phenomena. Kennedy was a believer, believed that he had had his own UFO experience, and yet once he got into office, could not reveal anything, which makes me feel like two of things are possible. There is definitely something there for both of these possibilities. The first one is that the president is not as powerful as we are led to believe, and there are people that restrict the information that he can say. Or the worst case scenario would be that there is something there and the situation is bad, and it is bad to the point where it is within the president's best interest and the interest of our species to not tell anybody, be this whether or not it is simply that we are controlled and he's not allowed to say anything, or if the situation is just truly terrible and it would cause mass panic. Now, whichever one of these you subscribe to, let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts are. But in the recent years, I've come to believe, or I've come to wonder, if the situation really is so dire that they simply won't tell us, or alien intervention in the highest levels of office is so great that they cannot reveal anything. They are controlled, they are the puppets of another entity. And I really hope that this isn't the case. I hope that there is something there and they're simply keeping it secret for the sake of keeping it secret. I hope that the situation isn't as bad as it possibly could be. Now, moving on to some references from the 2015 interview with Barack Obama that is very similar to our current interview, where it's the aliens won't let it happen. You'll reveal all their secrets. They exercise strict control over us, Obama said in response to Kennedy, which is very interesting because this means that both President George, or former President George Bush, and former President Barack Obama both took the route of making a joke of the situation while potentially hiding some truth in there and masking it as a joke. Kimmel went on to ask about former presidents who had said they would check and there was nothing there. President Clinton had checked and said there was nothing there, where Obama said, I can't reveal anything, and that is what we are instructed to say. So very similar to George Bush, making a joke of the situation, but with a much more serious tone of he chose control. Bush chose to make a joke of it. Obama chose to make a joke of aliens controlling us, which means that sort of both sides of the argument has now been addressed in a joking fashion. The control side of my argument, where the situation is dire, has been made a joke of, and the fact that it is simply a secret kept has now also been made a joke of by President George Bush. And I believe that this is like a disinformation campaign to make people shrug off the questions that they should be asking, because the president, he laughed it off. There's nothing there. Such a happy guy laughing it off with Jimmy Kimmel. It must be true. Am I right? I believe that we're asking the right questions, and I believe that the former presidents could in fact be giving us hints that we are asking the right questions. George Bush told us that there are big secrets in the office that he cannot disclose, but that doesn't mean that other people cannot disclose them. And Barack Obama mentioned being controlled in a joking fashion. Well, who's to say that he was not being controlled? Guys, I think we are on the right track, and I do believe that President Donald Trump, has the potential to reveal this information to us. It is hot-headed, uncontrollable nature. I would love to see him on the Jimmy Kimmel show. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I know that Jimmy was very anti-Trump during Trump's campaign, but it would be very interesting to see the current president on this show being asked the exact same questions, to see which route he takes in avoiding the questions and deflecting the questions, either through a joke or possibly insulting the people who are crazy enough to ask such questions. But guys, it's very, very interesting. Let me know your thoughts on the topic in the comment section down below. I'm sure there's things that I've missed. If you watched the interview, of course, go ahead and leave some comments about that as well. I definitely think that there is something here, and that we should continue to explore these interviews with the presidents and former presidents of the United States. Moving on now to our second news article here in regards to the human-shaped shadows in the sky over Kitwe in North Zambia. This is it's very interesting. The first photo that I'm showing you here did not have me convinced. Like, this is very photoshoppable. This could be photoshopped. It could be fake in any way. But apparently there were a lot of witnesses, and a second photo actually appeared, which I'm going to show you guys in a minute. That's the one that convinced me. But first, let's talk about this first photo over the shopping mall. This massive humanoid figure that is floating, looking down on the shopping mall. So, judged against the cars and buildings seen in the picture, the apparition would seem to be more than 100 meters long. And it almost looks like it's almost a human shape with like flippers, and it doesn't appear to have hands either. So like, it's a very ghostly figure. And I don't think this was enough in the news, possibly because it's a very obscure country. I had never heard of Zambia before now. So flying over a shopping mall, it's almost like it's looking down. There doesn't appear to be people in this photo that are like paying a lot of attention to the apparition. It's not the best photo when it comes to like getting human reaction here, but it's absolutely incredible. Like, it looks relatively realistic. You can see the clouds cover the lower half of its body a little bit there, which is very like, it could be photoshopped, but at the same time, it was a very good Photoshop job. The reason that I believed it was photoshopped at first was because of the head area looks a little bit vague. There's very, very little information on this, but Zambian news outlets are reporting that eyewitnesses said the figure stayed in the sky for around half an hour and seemed to be looking down on the shopping center below. It is said that many locals who witnessed the event thought it was a manifestation of God, leaving some in a state of fervent adoration and others running away panicked. One eyewitness was quoted as saying, "We were shocked to see images that looked like a human in the clouds for close to 30 minutes. Some started worshipping, but others ran away. It was so strange." And it is a very, very strange and very compelling image to just see floating in the sky there. It's absolutely incredible. And then other information that we have here, the figure looks to be composed of a dark solid material rather than being made out of cloud formations themselves. This is very, very strange, guys. Let's move on to the second photo here, the one that convinced me that this was worth actually talking about. As you can see here in this photo, we're on a this looks like a dirt road, but I'm assuming it's just very dusty. But this is on a long road, possibly taken from a car or pulled over and taken from a car. It doesn't actually say. But you can see the figure in the clouds there, very covered by the clouds, very hidden. And it's also at a different, it appears to be in a different position. Yes, it's definitely lower and definitely more vertical than the first photo that I showed you. So this could be the creature moving towards the shopping center, possibly beforehand. There's no timestamp or anything like that. This is the very compelling photo. The clouds covering it, keeping it hidden. This would be very difficult to Photoshop compared to the first picture, which is why I believe that this is worth talking about. Worshipped like it could have been a god. Very, very interesting. Very interesting that that's what the human mind immediately goes to rather than some sort of being. You know, the universe is infinite. Everything has to exist out there in one shape or form. And it's quite possible that one of these creatures has simply appeared on our planet and was checking out the locals. But this is very, very incredible stuff, guys. I don't know what you guys think of this. I'm very, very interested to hear what you guys think of this second photo here. The first one, I definitely feel that people will probably be a little bit about, which is why I kept this better photo for second. It's definitely... Looking at the cloud covers, these are definitely at different times of day. You can see towards the center of the picture here, there's a little bit of clearing where the apparition is now. And then in the first photo, if we go back to that, you can actually see that there's a large clearing, but it's around the head rather than the feet. And the very dark clouds that you could possibly see in the corner of the first picture appear to be around its feet here. So it's possible that this entity moved into position, although this article in particular makes no claim of that. Eyewitnesses reported that it appeared to be made of a different, denser black material than the clouds themselves. This includes the darker rain clouds that appear to be present in both pictures. This is incredible. These are incredible images, and if it turns out to be something that starts appearing everywhere else in the world, I personally will be very, very freaked out. So guys, I'll be keeping up to date on this story, and if anything does change, I will let you guys know in a video in the future as soon as I hear anything about it. This appears to be all the information that I can find on the topic, so I'm very interested to hear what you guys think. Please let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of these images, and I will of course link the news article in the description so you can go and check it out for yourself. Alrighty guys, that is going to do it for today's video. I just want to quickly thank you all for the support that I had on the last video. Now that I'm starting to upload regularly, it is very rewarding to see that things are improving and you guys are really enjoying the content that I am making. I'm very excited for the future, and I hope that I can keep you guys up to date and maybe even reveal some firsts here on YouTube through Spooky World and really add something to this community, because I believe these are topics worth talking about and there are things here to be found, and we just need to ask the hard questions. We need to believe and we need to push for the truth. Like always guys, thanks for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more news, paranormal, cryptid, and alien information.